Hey everyone, welcome back. So today is Thursday. We got a snowstorm outside where I live, and we have Bitcoin crashing to previous levels. So we'll take a look at that. Obviously, what's driving it? It's mostly Ukraine news and Russia news, possible war tension on that. So we'll take a look at that. We also have some stories in Bitcoin. So let's get into it really quick here. We won't waste too much time. Not financial advice, as always, for entertainment only. Do your own research. Don't fall for scams. Spam posts get reported and deleted, and I'm invested in the following companies and coins for full disclosure. So here's the chart of Bitcoin. Obviously, we've had a drastic drawdown, basically, in the price of Bitcoin in the last 12, 24 hours or so. We're looking at the 1 hour chart right now. Bitcoin is at 40,656. It is right now battling with our support line of roughly 40,600, 40,750, somewhere around there. This green line right here. So it's battling with it. It did wick down below it here, as you can tell, and then came back up above it, and it's tried to go below it a couple of times now, it looks like, but it's staying, looks like, right in that line, a little bit below it right now. If we zoom in here really quick, yeah, we're a little bit below it, but not much. So we have support here. We'll have to see if we obviously maintain support there. Obviously, if we don't have support there, we're obviously falling lower, but I don't think it's going to fall too much lower. RSI is really, really, really low. So we're in the tremendously overbought territory or oversold territory, and we haven't been this low for, oh gosh, since December, I think, of last year. If we scroll out here far enough out on the 1 hour chart, we can possibly see that we were, let me see here, all the way back here. So right around December 3rd, 2nd, right around there, where we just plummeted like a brick in a water. But otherwise, before that, we came close to it here a couple of times, but not so drastically like we have today as we have in December, obviously. So we'll see if it can keep above it. Right now, we're obviously falling a little bit below it. We're at 40,578, so we'll have to keep an eye on it. But otherwise, if it falls below that, I think our next support line will be, let's put it on the daily chart here. Our next support line will be at the 37,500 mark, possibly. That's the only line here that I have drawn on it. So we'll see if it can obviously stay above that. We'll see where it ends today. Hopefully, it'll end above the 40,750 line. If it does, we may have a little bounce here because I think it's just been way oversold here on the hour chart at least. What else do we have going on here? Obviously, Ethereum, all the other coins have been falling as well. So Ethereum has gone below the 20-day moving average here. It is also way oversold on the 1 hour chart. You can see it's below the 30. It is at 24.25. And obviously drawn, mostly the drawdown has been because of the tension with Russia and Ukraine, which is renewed today again. So that's pumping not only the crypto markets down, but also NASDAQ, S&P 500. Everything is down on the day-to-day because of that, and which is just unfortunate. But we'll see how this all plays out. Right now, I think we're way overbought, so we may have a bounce here coming up, and then we may retest the bottoms here before possibly going back up. We'll see how things ease up. If war develops, then we may be going further down. We'll have to see. Taking a look at the Bitcoin hash rate here, we can see on this chart that we're heading back up. We're at 232 million right now, and this was on the 14th. And this is old. Let me see if I can refresh this. And yeah, I mean, we can see it here on the 7-day average. We're at 208 million, so we're obviously reaching for new heights. Bitcoin miners are getting installed, obviously, so that's the reason for that. So let's take a look at the miners here really quick. They got beat up badly today. Most of them were down over 5%, some were even higher. So Argo was down 7.32%. It's at 95 cents right now. Bitfarms was down 12.32% to 363. Cleanspark was down 4.1%, down to 10.28. I think Cleanspark might have been one of the ones that was down the lowest, along with Core Scientific here, down 3.66% to 920. Digihost was down 7.31% to 355. DMG down 4.9% to 48.5 cents. Hive was down 6.05% to $2.02. HUT was down 11%, down to 639. Iris Energy was down 8% to 1359. Marathon was down 9.44% to 25.72. Mawson was down 9.62% to $3.85, and Riot was down 9.34% to 17.76. So everybody was falling down today. Obviously, the news wasn't good. The fears of war obviously are freaking out the investors. So everybody's selling and going. Gold was actually way up today, which was surprising. So that's the reason for that. So let's take a look at some of the news here that we have on it. So obviously we can see here on the Yahoo News, S&P is down 2.12%, Dow 30 was down 1.7%, NASDAQ was down 2.88%, and the Russell 2000 was down 2.46%. And obviously the main story here is Dow posts worst day since November 2021 as Russia-Ukraine crisis worsens. So that is obviously causing the market to melt down a little bit. But let's take a look at some good stories here, possibly in Bitcoin, something that's driving adoption a little bit more. And this is what we want to continue to see. So in the long term, I'm not too worried about this. I'm not an investor in Bitcoin like a day trader. I invest for the long term, same with the companies that I buy. So I look at these kind of events as buying opportunities a little bit, but that's just me. So if you guys trade, that's fine. But it's just really hard to trade in this market. We'll take a look at a story here where it's, you get wrecked pretty quickly when trying to trade it and things go south on you really quick. So that's why I don't do it, because I don't have the time to be in front of the screen 24/7 to see what the heck's going on in the markets, especially with Bitcoin. It'll fall on you like crazy. So let's take a look at some adoption stories here. So Sequoia Capital is launching a 500 to 600 million crypto fund to invest in tokens. This is exciting. This is great news. Right, Sequoia is one of the oldest funds out there. So Sequoia Capital will bet on tokens through its new crypto fund worth 500 to 600 million. The VC firm will also actively manage tokens, from staking them to providing liquidity to participating in governance. And here's a big takeaway from this. So Sequoia is becoming more active. Sequoia has been investing in crypto since 2015 in both equity and token deals. Last year, 20% of the firm's new investments in the US and Europe were in crypto. So this is very encouraging, right? They're seeing obviously adoption and everything else, that this is the future going forward. So its portfolio companies include FTX, Fireblocks, Starkware, and Filecoin. When asked why it's launching a crypto-dedicated fund now, Maguire said many founders have increasingly asked Sequoia to take a more active role in managing its tokens. This new fund gives us the flexibility to engage even more deeply, he said. So adoption, they're getting more into it. Day one for crypto, Sequoia as a firm believes that crypto is more than a sector. It's a fundamental shift that will impact all sectors over the long run. I'm in the same boat on that. I believe the same thing. This is just the beginning, and what's possibly going to become the main usage, or there's obviously going to be a lot of usage cases for this, but this is just the beginning. It's kind of like the beginning of the internet. We're at the beginning and early stages of this, so I don't think it's too late to get in. Michelle Bale, another crypto-focused partner at Sequoia, told the block in the interview that it's day one for crypto, meaning crypto is still getting started and going to get only bigger from here. And we're seeing that obviously month to month, year to year. We're seeing the growth, we're seeing the adoption, everything else. Maguire concurred. He said, we're still in the absolute beginning. Crypto will be the biggest mega trend in the next 20, 30 years. Completely agree with that. Even further, I think the innovation that's happening in this space is just outstanding. As for its crypto investment thesis, Sequoia is particularly interested in cross-chain interoperability and GameFi projects. Sam Maguire adding that multi-chain is the future. So multi-chain is very interesting, obviously being able to trade between tokens and things like that. The Sequoia crypto fund will have the flexibility to invest in projects, but its check size could range in 100,000 to 50 million range, said Maguire. So that is also interesting that they're going to be pumping quite a few dollars into it. Obviously, so this is just another little block added on to our adoption phase. And this is just only going to grow over time. We're seeing other banks. I think even Ukraine today voted on a bill that would make cryptocurrencies legal in the country and things like that. And the president's supposed to sign that. So more adoption happening there as well. Next story. So actually about today's trade, Bitcoin falling. So Bitcoin traders say 40,000 is the line in the sand after BTC and stock sell-off. So we looked at the price chart of Bitcoin. So BTC price plummeted to 41,750 as global market stocks and altcoins corrected in the face of escalating tensions between Russia and the United States and the Ukraine. So we've seen this, we talked about it, we looked at it. But here's some data from Cointelegraph, Markets Pro, and TradingView. Shows the crypto market was hit with a wave of selling beginning near midday on February 17th. It dropped BTC to a daily low of 40,743. It actually fell below that. Before bulls bid the price back up above 41,000. It's actually now around 40,600. We'll see if we can maintain that. Here we got another 15 minutes before the day time changes here on it. Bearish until 50,000. So sudden pullback in BTC has taken the bullish perspective off the table for independent market analyst Michael Van de Pope, who posted the following chart highlighting the areas BTC needed to break through to support his bullish case. And he's basically seeing resistance at a weekly order block is right there. Support on a weekly order block. So we have to obviously get above 50,000 roughly to, reverse this from a bear case to a bull case, possibly continue the uptrend going up higher. But we'll have to see what's going on in the world. Based on the red box highlighted by Van D. Pope, Bitcoin would need a clear breakout above 50,000 to flip the bias towards bulls. Right? Van D. Pope said nothing really changed. This one is still the one I'm looking at for Bitcoin, in which I'd prefer to see a break of this weekly order block. If that doesn't happen, then I'm not bullish. Basically, he's going to be a little bit bearish. So BTC price respected a key level. Evidence that even experienced traders can be caught off guard by sharp moves came from Pentoshi, pseudonymous Twitter user who posted the following chart and noted that some recent BTC purchases now appear to have been premature. So here's Bull's last defense. Obviously, we're here at 40,600 or so. This is also what I have it down here. And then we might be going down, obviously, to the 38,500 range right around there. So, you kind of buy the dips and ride the wave. But if you're day trading, if not, you just buy the dips and hold for the long term. Long-term outlook is always going to be bullish in my view. So Pentoshi said, despite all the bullish propaganda, price still respected the levels. Bullets on live support here. I will still trade the level with reclaim, but know that downside risk is high, right? So that's one of the problems with day trading on Bitcoin. You basically have to be in front of the screen while you're doing it. Otherwise, you're going to get liquidated quickly. John Wick also tweeted, it's not about the news, but how the markets react and absorb the news. Russia and rate hikes are variables. We will have to just wait and see how it all absorbed. Most news is overhyped and can eventually be faded, which is true. So that's that one. And then finally, our last story, which is also part of adoption and growing trend. And there it is. So years after calling Bitcoin rat poison, Warren Buffett just invested $1 billion in a crypto-friendly bank. So we're seeing this kind of mind shift change here in the perspective of some of the wealthiest people in the world. So here's the story. So maybe cryptocurrency isn't red poison after all. Those were once the words of Warren Buffett. We know Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger have not been fans of Bitcoin. So the famous investor called the sage of Omaha for knowing things before the rest of the market. Now his money is saying otherwise. So specifically, his company Berkshire Hathaway has bought $1 billion worth of stock in a digital bank that focuses on crypto. So Berkshire Hathaway made its crypto investment public with the SEC filing earlier this week. It revealed that Buffett's company had purchased $1 billion in shares of Nubank, a digital bank based in Brazil and the largest of its kind in Latin America. Nubank is also called neobank, a type of bank that operates outside of the rules of the traditional banking system. The digital bank investment unit, NewInvest, allows users to put money in a Bitcoin exchange-traded fund ETF, tapping a financial space that Berkshire leaders have shown little love for. Right, so they're obviously changing their minds. They're seeing that this is definitely a change in the way people not only bank, but use currencies and things like that. What else do we have here? But even though its owners have expressed their personal disdain for cryptocurrencies and the crypto bank, Berkshire Hathaway's latest investment in Nubank is not the first time the conglomerate has dabbled in this market. So Berkshire already bought a $500 million stake in Nubank last summer, months before the company went public in December 2021. At the time, Nubank announced that this has been the largest single investment the FinTech bank had ever received. As Berkshire was upping its investment into the crypto sphere last year, the company also dropped some of its other more traditional financial assets. In the same SEC filing that showed the $1 billion investment in Nubank, Berkshire revealed that it had dropped over $3 billion in shares of Visa and Mastercard. Ouch. So obviously they're doing the change here. They're seeing that the shifts are changing and the way people bank and everything else. People are going more online. There is a huge competition among up-and-coming digital banks in Latin America, where a large portion of the population feels underserved by the traditional banking and financial systems. Companies like Nubank are looking to tap into a massive potential consumer market of people largely dissatisfied with the existing system. You don't even have to look into Latin America to see that. You have it here in the United States, where people are just fed up with the current financial system that we do have, where banks control everything for the most part. And they're going online to these new fintech, crypto banks and things like that. Trying to get a bank to take on a business that does anything with crypto is almost next to impossible. too much red tape. Some won't even do it. So it's crazy. I'm not even going to get into that. But so interesting stuff here, obviously, with all that's going on. Berkshire Hathaway investing in Eubank. You got Sequoia Capital investing in tokens and cryptocurrencies and things like that. Adoption is happening. That's why I don't think we're going to see a huge plunge in the Bitcoin price going forward. We may get pretty low on it, maybe to the lows that we've seen last year, where, when we hit, I think, 28,000 before bouncing. We may get that low if we have, obviously, the war with Ukraine and Russia. I hope it doesn't get to that. We don't need another war. Putin's being a little bully right now, which is another story for another time. I'm not going to get into it. I don't make these political, these videos. So a lot of things still happening that are good. You got to look at the good. You got to look at the bad also. And then, if you're a long-term investor, buy in the dips, not financial advice, but that's just what I'm doing. I have 10, 15, 20 years before I retire. Hoping to have a nice nest egg when I do retire at that point. So that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell, helps me out tremendously. And then we'll take a look at see what's going on tomorrow with, obviously, crypto, the markets, see if there's any news out there. Obviously, there wasn't any news on the miners. Also, I'll be setting up a new poll for the 2 previous polls that we did for the miners. And that should cover next. That'll be coming out later on today. So we'll have the final poll basically determining which miners get, I'll cover next, in which order and things like that. So that'll be done later on. All right, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a great one. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, bye.